One of the brothers stopped at the most excellent bagel factory in our town. It was early on the morning we caravanned down to Memphis. The bagel master was wearing a Johnny Cash t-shirt from Memphis, Sun Studio, our destination. Brother David took a picture recognizing a sign when he sees one. Before embarking on our journey, Gail slathered the bagels with cream cheese and wrapped them for the ride down, added a load of snacks, a 3-van caravan for the approximately 4.5-hour trip down I-55 from St. Louis to Memphis.
Heard them singing happy birthday from across the yard. Voices melding together made me long for the time when I can breathe some air with you.
On Tuesday, May 24th, we gathered. Our goal was to arrive mid-afternoon if there were no incidents. There were no incidents, and we poured into the Peabody Hotel. Cousin Stuart from Chicago had arrived before us by plane, and he was already situated on one of the comfort divans on the Lansky side of the lobby. The talk was rich, and some of us had been there before, some not. We were squeezed to get to the studio on time for the load-in. We had one night to record the 8 pieces we prepared. Across the street from the hotel was a restaurant featuring a variety of Southern-style fishes. The food was delicious and grilled fish satisfied. We had just enough time to enjoy an excellent meal before we made the caravan to the studio, less than a mile away down Union. The studio was a little snug for all 10 of us, and it was steamy that evening from the late afternoon drizzle as we arrived. We all knew it could have been a lot worse any deeper toward a Memphis summertime. Still, we would raise up a healthy sweat inside the studio with all of us cozy into the space. It is not a large room. Some of the equipment needed a tweaking from our technical staff, and we had what we needed to fire up the equipment. We were tapping into the original setting of the space. We didn't want it too clean or too pretty. There was a natural grit that belonged to the place, its geography and its history. More than ambiance, the ghosts of the originals who recorded there presiding. In the cafe in the next room, some of the guys jammed Elvis tunes on guitars we picked off the stands in the studio.
Well, I'm leaving town this morning. I'm leaving town sure. Then you won't be bothered with me hanging around your door. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, mama. Anyway.
We wandered around the museum on the floor level and upstairs. Once the equipment was set up and sound tests made, our producer suggested we needed a way to begin that will honor the experience and synchronize the mood. He was one of the few of our group who was not known to the others. He is also my recent son-in-law. I myself haven't known him for that long, and he is married to my daughter. One of the brothers had asked me to bring a ceremony, so I wrote up a tea ceremony, packed up a very tasty first flush Darjeeling, stuck it in my bag with a kumkum, it's a water heater upper. By the time we had loaded in, I had forgotten about the ceremony, and I would have stayed quiet about it had not my son-in-law and David insisted. In the cafe adjacent to the studio, I spoke this as I passed around the small cups of fine tea. Have tea together. The small things you discuss while drinking tea will open onto large things. In other words, invoke your influences, inspirations. You're at 706 Union Avenue. Have tea with B.B. King, Elvis, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee, Howlin' Wolf, Ike Turner, Carl Perkins, Roy Orbison. Have tea together. Everything will open onto the greatest things when you have tea together. After the ceremony, Stuart whispered to me, "It tastes like spring," which is utterly correct. Daniel, one of the staff of the Sun Studio, asked if he could have a copy of the ceremony piece, and I gave it to him. By the time we left, I noticed it was duct tape to the wall of the studio. And in those moments, we settled deeper into the sacred task we had come to Memphis to fulfill. We witnessed the holy rising in that sacred space. We were then ready.
Oh, you're good.
You are ready. You're fully prepared.
We had 8 pieces, and we did 2 or 3 takes of each one. We all squeezed into one room, and some of us were playing original instruments, so to speak. Sam on Jerry Lee's piano. We honored the setting. We were also breaking out of the isolation of the pandemic, even if only for 24 hours. And the experience of making music face to face, horizontal, was delicious, as was the communication with the rooted past, face to face, vertical. We were going deep.
Tried to enter, but the door was locked. Maybe it's not such a bad idea to pause. He turned.
That energy y'all are bringing is great.
Welcome to St. Louis, the heartline, the omphalos, the belly button of America. Welcome hipsters and fools, mountebanks and hustlers, holy rollers and motorless, stringists and songsters, blues crucible, walk the river, wander around the turn of the century. Ragtime crucible. Welcome Scott Joplin, Afro-American intermezzo, tutored by Julius Weiss and Texarkana, immigrant Jewish roots teacher. They called him the professor. Welcome the professor. Welcome to the river, artery of rhythm and transport. Rosebud River Town, root sounds, you are welcome here. Scratch, scratch, mandolins and banjos, welcome here. Ukes, guitars.
Easy when love's new, to say we'll never part. As everything begins to stir, but it was always such, and you never rushed for me to learn to be thankful. I'm so thankful now. I'm so thankful now. I'm so thankful now. so thankful now. Smiling skies are blue as darkness departs.
I had been quiet lately, so my voice was unexercised as a singer, even as a talker. I was not confident I could make the tunes to my satisfaction, especially one particularly long spoken word piece based on a story I had written involving previous visits to Memphis. We left that piece for the end of our session. During the first take, my voice began to give out. I was spent. I did the take and sat down. I declared, "I'm done." It was about 1 a.m. and I didn't think I had it in me, though. Until that time I felt vigorous and stimulated. I sat down with finality while the gang in the control room discussed another take. While I was sitting, a large cup of the taste of spring first flushed Darjeeling appeared before me in the hands of my son-in-law. He presented it to me like an elixir from the mountaintop of the gods. I took it and drank it, and immediately I was restored. "Let's do another take," I said, and my voice revived.
I wandered into the store, and Mr. Lansky happened to be in that day. We got to talking, and when he heard my profession, he loaded me up with sweaters and such, and would not take my credit card. I mentioned my connection with Mayor Lansky and Mayor Lansky's relation to my family, and that opened up a kind of secret communication between us. We moved behind the counter and out of earshot.
That was amazing. I've loved every single second of that.
That was the groove. Thank you guys for pushing on.
The next morning, most of us got up early enough to relocate to our stations. On the north side of the lobby, we owned that quadrant by then. A bunch of us went into the restaurant together for a darn good little breakfast. We dawdled for a bit so we could watch the ducks arrive for their day job. We loaded into our chariots and prepared for the way home. Max and Ted went off to Nashville to pick up a vintage tape machine that will be relevant to the final product. I rode home with the brothers.
Thoughts about the future? Everything will be different.